Hi, it's ForeGolf Custom, and today we're back with you and taking a look at Callaway's new Jaws MD5 Wedge. This wedge is a flat profiled club and comes in 5 bounces, but we're going to take a custom fit look at this today and give you the insight into the right type of bounce and what we found works really well at fittings, and also because of its low flight, the settings, the shafts, all that good stuff that you'll need to watch the video to figure out what. Dave, talk to me about this low flight you've seen in the fitting sessions.
I think it predominantly because the groove has got a little bit more aggressive, there's a little bit more edge on it, so it's biting off the first groove quicker, so you don't have that rolling up the face, so it grips real quick. Then as it grips, it pushes forward because there isn't it hasn't rolled up the face, so it hasn't got any height on it, and then it kind of stops and then bites after the second bounce.
But you're still seeing spin from it.
Oh, loads of spin. The spin is aggressive. It's just flat spin, so it doesn't pop. It doesn't come down and land on its first drop. It kind of checks in and then bounces, stops on its second go. Right.
So, and that purpose, then that sounds to me like probably a slightly, I guess, better player, I suppose, or stronger player. Give me the player profile from the fittings.
Because it's aggressive, you don't necessarily, you can have a little bit more loft on it. I know in previous videos we've been communicating stronger lofts, but this is maybe one of those products where it's not the worst idea in the world, certainly in the lofted club, to have that extra bit of loft on it. So it could be a 52, 56, 60, more traditional profile as we know.
Yeah.
You can get it aggressive with the modern day heads with a strong loft, so you just have to be very cautious of your iron set and how you blend them into this product, because we've got some high and some low and some mid at the minute, so you've got to be very, very careful.
That's a golden nugget profile. That's a golden nugget from Dave. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. This is fitting knowledge. This isn't about the club necessarily and what it does from a designs perspective, but it's how we apply the club itself from the fitting side of things. So if that's the loft setting, Dave, then what shaft then are we? That's a complicated message then. So if it's low flighted, what shaft are you looking at?
I think if we go back to something you mentioned earlier, which is it's more of a player's profile, as it were. So it's a harder hitter. So you don't want it to be too firm and too hard and solid in the tip, but it needs plenty of weight in it. So whether that be any of the KBS products which make great wedge shafts, or vice versa, the Nippon products, you have just the Modus, the 120s, keep a bit of weight into it, just to have loads of feel, but bring the weight back through so it's in your hands. Yeah,
we're lucky that we can build clubs in workshop because we have the heads and we get component lines, so we can use different shafts. But there's only one shaft in this, in steel.
Yeah, so you get a 115 dynamic gold Torus shoe. There's a graphite male option, there's a graphite female option.
So on the basis it's a better player club, then we probably need to talk about bounce. I think this is a bounce critical story, because then let's talk about bounce.
So as we move to more of a shallow rotation through the ball from a wedge games perspective, we're moving to lower bounces. So they had to bring in a special new grind for this one, which they call the W low bounce. So it comes from a tour environment and what they're looking for feel wise. It then works really good, and this is a wedge. We've also got C, which is a really good low bounce profile.
Yeah.
And then between the two of them, I haven't done much more than that. They have got higher bounces if technique isn't necessarily the best, just to get the ball popping.
Yeah.
But with it being a player's product, I think it's low bounce W or C.
We're fans of low bounce here. We like it, obviously, because we're in Ireland, so the conditions can be a bit soft. So we like stuff to be a bit more sort of, I guess, shallower. And we don't like a lot of steepness. And that comes from us being on tour. I mean, we used to love that lower bounce, shallower delivery. And also, I think because, you know, the reality of this is, folks, this probably isn't a wedge you can just kind of buy and plug and play. You're probably going to have to just be a little bit more cautious about the bounce.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think then it's a lot of, you know, this is a good player, so it's a technique product. So it's front edge delivery. So I guess our thoughts are strip out the bounce, strip out the back edge, which is what that grind does, and allow that front edge delivery. Would that be fair to say?
Roll in, 100%, yeah.
So on the last question I have for you then, in terms of the finish, there's a platinum chrome and there's a tour grey.
Yeah.
Is one better than the other?
I haven't personally seen much difference between the pair of them. maybe the grey is a little bit better for framing, not necessarily in Ireland, but in warmer, hotter, sunnier climates.
Is that because of the sunshine?
Just because of the sunshine. There's the odd argument to say that the black or the taupe, with it being a finish, makes it feel a little bit harder. It's an odder comment, but I think you've got both variants. Pick them on preference of visual as opposed to preference of feel, because the result will be exactly the same no matter what you do.
The two finishes in this Callaway Jaws MD5 wedge are quite unique. There's a platinum chrome and that lovely tour grey. Both will perform just as equally. Just pick the one that you like the look of. This wedge is definitely one of the best looking wedges, and not surprisingly it comes from wedge guru and grandfather of wedge design, Roger Cleveland, who's been working with Callaway for the last 23 years. He's got some beautiful shapes on this, so it does set up lovely behind the ball, that's for sure. If you're a lefty, be careful, there's only 3 lofts available in this and the grinds are quite minimal, so if you're left-handed, just keep an eye on this. You're only going to get 3 loft settings. But if you are that better player and you're looking for that lower sort of ball flight with loads of grip and bite, this is the wedge to consider. But as we've said, be careful of the bounce settings and get the right lofts to suit not only your last club in the pitching wedge, but also lofted to get the right flight on the ball so that it visually looks exactly what you see and what you want to see. If you're liking the video content, please give us a like. And now is the time maybe to share this video. If you have a lower handicap player or somebody that's looking for a lower flighted wedge, maybe share the video, give them the heads up, let them know. Hope you're enjoying the content. Again, it's all custom fit related, so it makes sense to keep an eye on our videos to make sure you're getting the right clubs based on what we see from our fittings. Also, please subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Thanks again for watching.